So we're back for episode 7. 7, can you believe 7?
7?
Wow. It's going along pretty quickly this season, right?
I know. It's like we're in week
I think it's the 4th, so it's a crazy day right now. We all know what's going on. Much like the NFL, there's no clear-cut winner of who's the best team. It's kind of like
close.
what I feel like in our country right now. There's no clear-cut winner. Everything's about right here, half and half. But I'm not getting into that stuff. That's not what I like to talk about. I like to talk about sports and cars and beer. And right now, I want to talk about
Just
picks.
anything else.
Anything else. I can't.
I don't want to talk about
it.
picks last week.
Yeah. Whoa. Why?
I got crushed.
Ooh. I went with some teams, and you're like, "Oh, that's a terrible pick. That's a terrible pick. They're not going to win. They're not going to win."
Nobody took the Bengals to win. You
took
must
the
have been
Bengals.
the only one.
No, because I like what I see from Mr. Burrow.
He actually looks pretty good.
Really good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
when I think about right now the NFL, there's like a lot of craziness with positive tests going on. You got Elway tested positive. You got Ravens. Some of the Ravens defense just tested positive.
Yeah, but I think the rules now are completely different, right?
I think they are. Yeah,
like really different.
Yeah,
I think they're like shut down.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. The whole thing is. They're gonna go into the playoffs. They're gonna have to if it continues. Something's gonna happen where they're not gonna be able to continue the season.
The playoffs are gonna have to be a bubble.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to be a bubble.
I mean, well, didn't they have like some 16-team playoff? Like the owners are gonna talk about recently. Like they're gonna do something about the playoff system.
I think that's for next year. I think they're adding more teams to the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
For next year because this year's 14, 7 on each side.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to go to 8 on each side, which. It's getting a little ridiculous at that point. Like, how do you have that many teams make the playoffs? What's the point of winning your division? What's the point of doing anything if everybody's making the playoffs?
Exactly.
I mean, I get it's obviously revenue based. They
Yep.
get a lot more money for the playoffs, but I don't know. It seems a little too excessive to go with that many teams.
Yeah, I mean,
it's half the teams. Half the teams make the playoffs. It's like the NBA. The NBA playoffs take like it's
so
a
then
season.
You have like a warm up game, like because if it's seeding or if you have your number one versus the worst, like. But competition there.
It's different when it's one game, though. It's different, like in the NBA, how like half the teams make it, but it's a 7-game series, and it's just generally the best team's going to win.
So, I mean, if you were watching the Monday night game, you watch Tampa versus the Giants, you'd be like, if that was just one playoff game, single elimination.
I mean, he makes the open throw at the end of that game.
Yeah, the Giants move on, and the Tampa Bay Bucks are going home.
It can't be that many. I'm okay with like the one, the win and go on.
Yeah,
but it can't be 16 teams. I think almost 14 teams is too much. When you played, it was just 12 teams.
Yeah. I mean, the way the system used to be, you work for that first round bye because it's really important to have that bye. So you really want to be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But sometimes that bye week could actually screw you up, and you don't have the momentum. I mean, I can remember back to like if you have a week 8 or week 9 bye and you're on a roll, like you almost just want to just keep going. And especially if your team's pretty healthy, you're like, let's just keep this thing rolling, because then you take that week off. Those weeks are the worst. Like that week off, you get into practice, you're just gonna go over all the stuff that they
really
feel
practice,
like you're
though.
No, you get a couple.
I know, but you don't know who you're playing.
No. But I'm saying
so it's tough.
That in the regular bye during the year, you know that you're going to go into practice, and especially with the Patriots, they're going to look at all the tape and they're going to be like, "Oh, we stunk here and we're not good here." So you literally have like 2 practices where you're like, "Okay, just tell me how much I stink and how much we suck, but we're really good," So it's almost like you have to tune out this is terrible football. This is terrible football. Right now, the Patriots, though, on the other hand, they don't look too hot. But I feel like you have a different take. I feel like you still think they're going to win the division.
I still think they're going to win the division.
So I stated,
wait, hold on.
I still
think there's a I don't think it's over. I mean, do I think like if I had to put money on it, I wouldn't put money on them making the playoffs. But I think there's still a chance of them making the playoffs.
I just don't like the way that they've lost. I don't like the way they've lost. They lose
they've lost what 3 games in the last play.
And who's got the ball in his hands?
Yeah, I mean,
right. So for me, when I watch that, it's like, your hopes are there, and you're like, oh, they can do it. No, fumble, over.
It's just tough.
Crushed.
But it's almost like they started to figure it back out in the second half of that game.
I mean,
the first half was awful. I mean, I think the play calling was atrocious. It was just.
I don't get 3rd and 2 draw. I don't get that.
I think on 3rd down, I think they ran the ball 8 out of 10 times on 3rd down.
What does that tell you?
But I mean,
they're not confident in throwing the football. They're not. If you had confidence, you would throw the football on 3rd and 2. You would throw the football 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6.
The problem is none of those downs were 3rd and 2. They were like 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15.
I still like throwing the ball on 3rd and 10. Like when I think 3rd and 10,
that's what I mean. Like, why don't you throw it?
Throw the ball. You throw the ball. You don't run the ball
before halftime. You can take a shot to the end zone and you don't even take it. You kick the field goal and move on 3rd down.
I just don't know when I said that if they lose to Buffalo, the season's pretty much done. I mean, they're 2-5.
Yeah,
that's pretty tough. And it's when you look at their schedule, it's not like they're playing. I mean, well, the Jets. That's
they
a win
they
right
do
there,
have.
But,
I mean,
but what if? Okay, so what if?
Schedule?
I'm gonna say what if. What if Monday night they don't look good and the Jets get their first win?
It's over then.
Then what?
It's over then. But
so
the thing is, they're obviously
is,
going for it though, because if they weren't going for it, right? If they didn't think that they could actually, almost run the table, make the playoffs, and all that, why wouldn't they put Stidham in? Why would you still have Newton in there? You have nothing to prove. He's a free agent.
I mean, I would put Stidham in right now because then you can evaluate what you have.
That's what I
you
mean.
Can move forward.
But I think they can win with Cam Newton, and they're going to put Cam in there to try to win the game.
I mean, for me, it's hard to. You listen to Bill and he talks about they went all in for the Super Bowls. It's hard for me to comprehend that he even says stuff.
He's
like
frustrated.
That. He's got to be frustrated. He's never been 2-5 since 2000, his first year coaching.
I think he's frustrated too because when you look at it, and they're 2-5. They could have, if 4 plays go different. I mean, they could be 5-2 right now.
Yeah, but they'd be a real weak 5-2 team. I'd be like, if I was playing them, I'd be like, okay, they can't stop the run.
But what
they
team?
Can't
What
throw
team's
the ball.
running away with in the AFC? There's nobody
in the AFC. I mean, you got to go with the Steelers. If the Patriots play the Steelers, can they hang with them? No.
They hung.
Can't.
They hung with Brian Hoyer with the Chiefs.
Yeah, but I don't think the Chiefs. I think the number 1 team in the AFC is the Steelers.
Yeah,
I think they're the best team. I
think
the Steelers are better than Kansas City. I think Kansas City's got a little bit of the Super Bowl hangover, and they look good offensively, defensively, but sometimes they don't, even offensively. I'm like, what are they doing right now? They don't look like they're clicking, and they have a lot of returning starters.
But
so
it's like every team. I mean, it was before this week. It was, look, the Buccaneers are so great. I mean, they came within inches of losing to the Giants.
Yeah,
I mean, within inches of losing the Giants. If
Danny
Dimes can make an out throw there,
I personally, just probably like everyone listening right now, I knew at one point there would be a down year. I knew it.
For the Patriots?
For the Patriots. I knew there was going to be a down. It's just a matter of time. People are so spoiled to the fact that there's an 11-year-old kid in his room with 11 division hats lined up. And it's since I was born, we've won a division championship and been in the playoffs every year of my life. And I'm 11 and I'm in 5th grade. It'd be like, what?
And that's the problem is, you see it right now, you listen to some of the talk radio in Boston, there's fans calling in there saying to fire Bill Belichick.
I was on
that's insanity.
I was on Get Up with Bart Scott. Scott.
He hates the Patriots.
He hates the Patriots. Obviously, hates the Patriots.
Yeah, he was
saying get rid of Bill. I had a clown mask. It was sitting there because it was Halloween right then, and I just put it on. I was like, I got to put a clown mask on. This dude looks like a clown. Sounds like a clown.
Yep.
So bad.
The crazy thing with the people that call in and talk about how to fire a Bill, the one thing they always say is the one word that, and it's my one of my biggest pet peeves when they say we should fire a Bill. Well, hold on a second. Who is we?
Who's we?
I hate the people that sit there and say, they call the Patriots. We won all these championships. No, you didn't win shit.
And I hate the comparison. Listen, don't ask me, was it Bill or Tom? Don't ask me that.
Yeah.
That comparison is so stupid.
You can't make the comparison.
You can't. It's both of them together that made great championship runs, a great team.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have Tom, you don't have the one end. You don't have the other end. You don't have it. It was a marriage together.
Yeah.
They worked well. They won a lot of football games. I was a part of that. So don't ask me who it is because I'm not going to give you an answer. Tom's a great quarterback. Tom's the greatest quarterback. Bill's the greatest coach.
Yeah.
With them together, you win a lot of football games.
You can't
really simple.
you can't say who's who. I mean, that's the dumbest thing.
You want to see something exciting?
Yeah.
Oh,
look at that.
I brought a big Yeti.
I thought you said Yetis were overpriced, overexpensive, and
this one was
pointless.
free. I did a commercial. I did a commercial with Grunk, and I don't even know if they aired it, but it was a couple years ago. It was for Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Yeah, for Bud Light. It was in the stadium. It's actually pretty sweet.
You never went on air?
I don't think they did because I don't know, something about they didn't like. I don't know, but guess what I brought? You're gonna laugh. Ready? You ready for the suspense?
Yeah, I have no idea what you're bringing. Natty Light.
Natty Light. Come on.
That's what you got?
Well, this is the first one. This is
the
the
one?
hydrating. This is the hydration before the actual IPA.
God, I thought they'd been around for a long time. 1977. I thought it would have been like.
Well, the cans look the exact same too. No, this week's IPA we went with a pale ale with the Night Shift Brewery. Night Shift, if you can see that. So we'll see what that's like. I'm sure it's really good.
Have you had it before?
No.
No.
I just walked into the liquor store and I said,
"What do you got?"
Mini, 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 mo. The pale ale.
And then when you saw the Natty Light, and you're like, "I gotta get it."
Yeah, and then I saw that. Oh, well, I wanted the Natty Daddies, but they didn't have them. The Natty Daddy is it's like 6 of these.
Yeah, it's like a tall boy.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like 48 ounces in it or something like that.
Yeah, it's big. Let's see what this is like. Ready? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got a weird
weird aftertaste.
Maybe like blood, iron, or something.
So, it's the high quality.
It's the water they use.
Tastes like the can.
It's the
if you ate the can.
It's the unfiltered water, straight from the well. Okay, so next week we are gonna do an adventure, and this was gonna be, Dan O'Brien Auto Group. You would think that he can race cars or he has a good sense of track ability.
We also have a poker game to do too.
I don't like that idea. I really don't like that idea. My dad texts me, "Do not play poker against Dan, and don't put up any of your cars. Don't put up anything because you will lose." I said, "Yeah, do you think I'm that stupid, Dad? I'm not going to lose any of my cars, and I'm not going to play poker. We could do a game just for fun, just to see, and then it'd be like a Monopoly.
If?
Like, yeah, you got the what's that?
We can do a what if.
Yeah, what if? What if I lost?
Yeah.
Which one would you get?" So we're gonna race the supercharged carts next week. That'll be an awesome adventure. And I made sure that the weight, just like a racehorse, where you have to make sure that the weight is accurate. From what I hear, the electric, no issues.
There's no issue on the electrics.
And they're gonna crank them up. They're gonna give us full access
on the high thing.
High, yeah,
to like as high
fast as they'll go. So,
have you already went and scouted this thing? Like
I've been there before.
You've taken pictures of all the turns and everything.
No, I think they can change it up, and they can open up both tracks. To one track.
Yeah, they change up those tracks pretty often. Because I mean, there's like competitive. I don't know if you know this. No, they do. Like competitive.
Racing. They do that. Yeah. Well, I met the manager one time, and he's invited me over to do some racing with him, but I haven't gone. So I hit him up. I was like, hey. And then we're going to interview him, and we'll talk to him about how many times he goes around the track, probably every day. If I had that type, if I was a GM or I owned a track like that, like I'd be there every day.
Yeah.
And I'd want the fastest cart they ever made.
Yeah.
And they'd
just keep tuning it up.
Eventually, I'd probably fly into a wall or something, and then
just flip over, and
then they have a nice little memorial for me in the track that I was working at.
I think it'll be good. I've done it before, the go-kart thing.
Yeah.
It's fun. Have you done it before?
Fun. Yeah. Well, I went there with like my brother-in-law, and I put him into the wall at like 40, and he was like, "My back,
it hurts.
Back hurts."
It hurts. I mean, people think it's that. I mean, it's kind of a workout too, because you have manual steering and stuff like that.
I know.
I mean,
well, you get pumped up, your arms get pumped up, you
get out, you get cramped up a little bit.
Yeah,
and everything.
Well,
You're also
carts,
like a little
they're
cart.
not made for 6'3". I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a tough thing for you.
I'll squeeze it in there.
When your knees are touching your ears. It'll be like getting in your Corvette.
Yeah, right. So, didn't you? Every now and then, I'll get a text message from Dan, a little bit about our relationship, friendship here, and he'll text me like a Barracuda, like a 1970 Barracuda that's like tricked out, super insane. What's the ETA on that? When is that coming here? Because they'll
it's
say like,
supposed
I
to be
think I bought this, and I'll
think
say,
it's Monday.
do you think or you did? And he's like, I did.
Yeah, it's Monday.
Monday. I can't wait to see that one.
69 CUDA.
69 CUDA, but it's all done up. It's got the roll cage. It's got a crazy motor in it. It's got like a NASCAR motor in it or something.
NASCAR motor. It's like a 900 horsepower. I don't know how loud this thing is going to be because I mean that's
if it's
like
a NASCAR motor, I would assume it sounds very close to what a NASCAR sounds like, and they might be rattling the windows as you go down the street. But that's cool. I mean, I can't wait to check it out.
Just stinks because it's this time of year, so you can't really take it out or anything.
He has like the perfect job. When I think about like the perfect job, it's like I'm gonna search the internet and I'm gonna just pick up a bunch of cool things and then I'll sell them.
Yeah, basically. And you can see what they are.
Yeah,
I
know. The problem is I'm just such a baby. I can't like put my neck out there and just say here. I'd be afraid.
You do though.
No, not with. I mean, I don't sell.
Yeah, no, you just buy.
I just buy, but then eventually, like my kids will probably be like, "Oh, let's get rid of Dad's beautiful '65. We want some money."
Yeah, he won't notice the difference.
Mm-mm.
What are you gonna do when your kids are older too and take your car out in the rain?
They're not taking my car out in the rain.
Like, what if you're away or something like that?
So recently, I just had to go up to Berlin, New Hampshire, and as I was going, I got caught in snow, and I was very upset that I got salt on my truck because I usually undercoat it with some like grease wax stuff. It's called fluid film, and there's other things that you can use on it which prevent rust. Which up here, rust is a terrible
cars
thing.
Come like with corrosion.
No, they do not.
Yes,
they want them to corrode.
No.
The manufacturer's like, oh, let's make this car last 10 years. No. They're like, let's make it last a couple.
It has all corrosion stuff on the.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it for
that's
a second.
Why most
that's
new
why
cars don't have rust on them.
You look underneath a 2-year-old truck; it's rusted out.
That's like surface stuff, though. It's not rusted out. It's like
I don't like the surface. I don't like any surface rust. I like it to
that's
look
like
nice.
when you park your car, for like a couple weeks in the winter, and then you get surface rust on the rotors, and it goes away right away.
No, the rotors go away because you brake. And
yeah,
I'm talking about like on the pumpkin of my rear end and like the frame rails and all that stuff.
It's just surface.
I don't like it. But the surface eventually turns into a problem.
Undercoat all your stuff.
I do.
Yeah, but you said you just put the film on.
No, I put the film every winter. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it Thursday, maybe Friday. But it works. I had a 2014 Ram, and I did the fluid film. Anyone that doesn't want rust, do the fluid film. It really works. It was like the Navy invented it in the 60s, and they put it in all their holes.
Yeah, but how long do you actually keep these cars for?
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. It could even get rust.
Whoever owns my 2016 Ram Mega Cab with a lift kit, they got a cool truck.
You asked me the other day to look for some of your other cars,
too. Yeah, I know. I do.
I'll
ask Dan. I'll give him the VIN number. I'll say, hey, look where this car's at. See where this car's at.
Is it mad like when it's like right over the border of Rhode Island?
Well,
like that close to you?
When I sold my 2012, I had a 2012 Z06, and I screwed up by like putting modifications on it. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just left it alone. But I sold it in 2018, and the guy that bought it was in Rhode Island, and I think it was too loud for him, or he didn't. I had it tuned at Slowhawk Performance. I think they're out of Bridgewater, but they do a good job. Go to Slowhawk if you need anything for your car for like performance stuff. But it was literally so loud, like it was just obnoxiously loud, and I was just like, oh, I don't want it so loud. So I got rid of it, and the guy was like, he bought it, and he texted me. He's like, do you want this? You want this back? I'm like, why? Well, you don't like it?
Hit him at less than he gave.
No, he was like, it's really loud. It's not. I don't think he didn't expect it to be like that. And at the time I was like, no, I'm good. I should have bought it back.
Yeah.
But oh well, you live and you learn.
Yeah,
but it's a 20. But I have the red eye wide body Hellcat now, so
it's a better car.
It's a way better car. It's bigger, it's smoother, it's faster.
That thing won't see the road until
it's May? Already up. It's sleeping.
Like May.
It's
June. When do you let a car go back on the road after the winter?
The sand? Because when
the sand's always there though.
No, it's not. It goes away. No, they have the street sweepers. You got to have the street sweepers come out, and then the sand eventually, as cars go, it sweeps off to the sides, and it's not like just pelting your car. But probably, I don't know, March, April, maybe like May, April-ish.
August.
No, not August. That's too far.
I can drive my car from August 1st to September 10th.
I've lightened up a little bit. Not really. But I just... There's something about having a car and having it be nice. Like just a nice car. And no matter what you do, it always gets messed up. So
you have your whole... Don't you have like the entire Hellcat like expelled?
Yeah.
Like everything?
No, not everything. The hood...
85% of the car?
85% of the car.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
expelled.
no, but what's the sand going to do to it then?
No, they won't do anything to that one. But it's underneath that I won't... Like, if you get caught in the rain and it's been salted... Because you could even drive in the wintertime and the roads are all white with salt.
Yeah.
And then you get caught in a little bit of mist or something, then your whole car is white. Like it's all white underneath with salt. And
what do you do in the winter then?
I wash my car. I put hot cold in my driveway. I have a hot cold in my garage, and then I literally, after I drive, I'll get underneath it and spray it all down.
When it's like 10 degrees out?
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
Do you do the same thing with your wife's car?
No. Well, I did at first, and then then there's like Cheerios and smashed freaking goldfish in the seats. So I just lost interest in that one.
So yeah.
It looks great on the outside though. I drove it today. It looks brand new.
Why'd you take it today?
Because I was too lazy to move the cars around and take my truck out, and I was running late because I had to go get.
I was wondering because it wasn't raining.
Lovely natty ices.
Yeah,
these Nat Lights.
It wasn't raining, so I wasn't sure.
Well, I was going to drive her. I was driving her car anytime it was potentially snowing, and since I just went to New Hampshire and basically got salt in every crevice of my truck.
How long did it take you to clean your truck?
Well, I got home at like 10 o'clock at night.
Did you wash it then?
And I went to the right here. Rojo went in the manual stalls, and it's okay. It wasn't power. It wasn't not enough power there. You need more like power. They don't have enough power. I need to complain to those guys.
Oh, for the pressure.
The pressure is not there. It's almost like it's not there at all.
So did you rewash it then later on?
No, I haven't done it yet. But I looked underneath it in the daylight because I couldn't see at night, and then I got pretty much all the like salt. I just want to get the salt off. That's what I want.
Okay.
If it's dirty, it's okay. If it's the salt's all sitting on there, I don't like that.
Yeah, we're going to be going to New Hampshire a lot now.
Yeah,
they
big
use tons
news.
of salt.
Big news up there in New Hampshire. Ninko is going to be. I'm right next to the Jericho National Park trail system.
Berlin? No, it's not.
It's Berlin. Berlin's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's Grove. It's not Groveton. It's Berlin. It's Berlin.
No, it's Berlin.
Yeah, it's Berlin. So I just picked up a little piece of property there and teamed up with Moms, the motorsports company down the street on Route 1. I think everyone knows Moms, right by the stadium there. So we're going to have a little thing going on where we open up the trail system to the park system, and then pretty much if you open it up to the general public, it pays for like the state takes care of the trail system.
Yeah.
And they take care of the liability, so that's a big deal too. So I'm excited. I'll be up there.
You got a brand new snowmobile.
I do. I do have a new snowmobile. What's the over-under I get on it?
I think we said 2. Two is the over-under, and I think I took the under.
So I'm planning a trip after Christmas. That's the plan.
For what?
To go up to Maine and to do like a trail, like a big trip up in Maine. But
snowmobile all around.
Snowmobile, yeah, go up there and stuff. So
that'd be one.
Now I don't know what else. I don't know what else is going to happen.
So you got nothing planned from now until
we need
before or after Christmas.
We need some snow.
There's plenty of snow up north.
Yeah, well, I know. I experienced that when I was driving there and it was sunny.
So is this trip before or after Christmas?
After Christmas.
Okay, so then
the problem is
you're not driving this thing in 2020.
I need some help here. The problem is my wife has just told me that if we get a dog on the 11th, which we're supposed to pick up a golden retriever puppy on the 11th, she said if you get a dog, you're not snowmobiling at all. So this
so you're at
it
the
might
dilemma?
go to 0.
What are you doing?
I told her, I said I don't want the dog then. If I can't snowmobile, I don't want the dog. I'm kidding. That's not true. I don't know.
You tried to play hardball?
I tried to play hardball, but it doesn't work.
Have you sat there and showed the kids the pictures and everything?
Yeah.
So they can kind of
it's bad.
Put some pressure on.
We just had a little situation where I was talking to the breeder, and the breeder said, you can come up and select your dog, but you can't touch the dogs. Like, you can't handle the dogs because of COVID. And I was like, hold up. can't touch the dogs, and I guess there's like the American Kennel Club has this thing where if you have puppies, you can't let people handle the dog. Which, if COVID goes from dogs to humans, we'd all be in real trouble, and I feel like that would be everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you supposed to do then?
I don't know.
Like, no, to pick the dog, you have to like stand behind a piece of glass.
I'm like, I said, well, what's the difference between looking at a picture online and walking up and looking at the dog? Like, isn't the process of picking a dog like you pick the dog? Like, you're like, this is the dog. Let me see. And then the dog, you pick it up and it like freaks out. And then you're like, no, I don't like that one. And the one that sits there and looks at you, and then you pick it up and it just relaxes. You're like, yeah, this one's more me.
Yeah, that never works though.
I know the one that's the most relaxed just ate, and it's just like chilling because it wants to go to sleep. The one that's freaking out is the one that dog's gonna freak out just as much.
Yeah.
So, but
you haven't decided what you're doing yet with that?
I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out, I guess. But it's gonna. I was playing hardball like to myself. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't pick a dog if I can't touch it. Like, I can't do it.
That's just weird.
It is weird.
That's like buying a pair of shoes you can't try on.
No, I know. I might bring the Golden Protection Dogs Plus.
Train it up.
Get that dog just.
What if you put gloves on? Couldn't you?
Vakin. Was it Vakin? Vakin.
But can't you put gloves on and touch it then?
I said, what if I put a mask and gloves on?
Yeah.
And then I guess they have to wash the dogs after everyone, like, didn't make sense.
Yeah, but if you had gloves and a mask on.
I know. There's a lot of things that don't make sense.
That's like a 9:00 curfew.
And no alcohol after 9. Like, what?
Yeah.
What does that do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
You can buy it all before. All right.
All right. Well, let's take a little break. Let's take a little break. We're going to come right back to you.
The state of the Patriots.
State of the Pats. We're going to get into that, dive into that a little bit more, and then we're going to jump into some picks, and then we're going to try our IPAs just to see if we like them.
Yep.
See ya.
All right, we're back here, and we're going to talk about probably the biggest thing in New England right now, the state of the Patriots.
The state of the Patriots would be
not very good.
Not very good to me. It's really hard to witness kind of like what's going on because it's just so not what you've seen from the Patriots in the last 20 years. So turn the ball over, not being able to set the edge, not being able to stop the run, just bad football. Like, I didn't think that it would be as bad as watching, some of these games with the defense, and they just don't have the personnel. So, I mean, I understand that you lost Vanoy, you lost Hightower, you lost Collins, but like, shouldn't you have somebody that's up and coming, that's ready to like step in that, or you have to spend the money, and they had no money. I get it, but don't they have like didn't after Hightower and Chung opted out?
Yeah, but that was after
and Brady left.
That was after.
Yeah, but you could.
There wasn't much left.
I mean, I don't know. It's just hard for me to.
Yeah.
They
acquired a lot of money, when they also have, I think it's like $30 million dead cap hits.
It's a lot of money.
I mean,
but they're going to have like $100 million.
That's like 4 good players. They're going to have a huge amount of money next year.
And a lot of draft picks. But I mean, I think the biggest issue, the state of the Patriots, is their inability to draft big time players that develop within the program without going out and getting somebody that you have to pay a lot of money to.
That's where they've
like that's the problem. So
one of the big things though is they've lost a lot of draft picks due to all the gates.
So this is
deflate gate.
I'm gonna put this out there, and I think this might happen. I think Jimmy G might come back to New England. If you are, did you see after the game when Jimmy G was here, like Bill and everybody was going up to him and they're giving him a hug, and like they traded him to San Fran because they liked him. If they didn't like him, he would have been in Cleveland or some terrible spot. But
the difficult thing with Jimmy G though is he's not doing anything right now with talent around him.
I think he did pretty good against the Pats when they played.
Yeah, but that was the only
game.
But
he's hurt. He has a high ankle. Last year, I mean, he looked pretty good.
He was terrible in the Super Bowl.
I don't think he was that bad. He had a lot of pressure on him. I think there's unrealistic expectations for guys, and he made a shoot ton of money. So he made a lot of money. You give him a huge contract. They expect him to be just like Jared Goff. Like the NFL pays people off of what they expect you to be and not what you actually are. So the Patriots could go get Jimmy G, and the 49ers have already paid him basically all his guaranteed money.
I think they're going to cut. I think they're just going to cut.
Yeah, I think they will, and then somebody can go and get him. And I think that when I think of like location of team, Jimmy G's a Midwestern kid from Chicago. Like I don't like the Cali, San Fran, and Jimmy G don't go.
Yeah,
he drives a black Jeep Cherokee, the same one he had as a rookie. Like
it doesn't.
He's not like Flash. He's not like, I just feel like that California area and just that environment is very much so not a Midwestern mentality. Like he's more much blue collar.
Yeah.
Kind of like New England area. Just it reflects New England a lot to me. Just the demographics and how people really love their teams and they're about their community. It's not like I feel like Cali's like a selfish state, right? It's like all about you and like what you drive and what you look like. So I think he's definitely a good fit here if they could get him. And I know that he'd want to come here, especially if you have McDaniels and you have
if he gets cut, I mean, he's got to be a short list. The Patriots have to be at the top of that short list for where to go if he gets 100%. Cut.
Yeah,
because he knows the system, he knows the coaches like him, and all that stuff. But
so this is week 7, right? We're going in week 7. This is week 8.
Week 9.
Week 9.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? Crazy.
Yeah.
So when we're going into this, the Patriots right now are 2-5.
2-5.
What do you think after week 16? What do you think their overall record will be right now? And you can pull up their schedule. So let's go through their schedule right now.
I think they're going to be like
pull up the schedule. Let's see.
8-8, 9-7. They got the Jets this week.
So, okay, Jets win.
Yep.
So
Ravens. Ravens don't look that good though.
Let's just go through the list.
Okay. So
we'll just say like what we think off the top of our head.
Jets
win. So 3-5.
Yeah, I think Ravens lost.
3-6.
Texans win.
4-6.
Cardinals win.
Cardinals? They just beat Seattle.
They're going to beat either the Cardinals or the Ravens. So I think it's like the toss up between the two of them. They have to. I mean, like that's.
So then they're 5-6.
5-6. Then they beat the Chargers.
The Chargers look good too. I like their
Herbert. They lose every game at the end of the game.
Yeah, but they're okay. 6-6.
Yeah. Then you get the Rams, which they'll beat.
7-6.
The Dolphins, which they have to win. They beat them once already.
So 8-6.
Yeah, and then the Bills.
8-7.
Yeah, and then the Jets.
8-8. So you're going
9-7.
Oh, you're going 9. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so they
win. Yeah.
So 9-7.
Yeah.
So you're going 9-7. I think of those two teams that you say win. I think between the Arizona game and the Chargers, they're going to lose one of those. So I'll go 8-8. I'm going 8-8, 500.
But do they win? Do they win the division at 8-8? That's the thing.
Well, look up the Bills' schedule. What do the Bills have? Because the Bills are
the Bills got a tough one. They have Seattle this week.
So I think they'll lose to Seattle.
So they'll be 6-3 after Seattle.
They'll lose to Seattle.
Then they go. Then they have the Cardinals, which I think they lose to.
Okay.
It's in Arizona.
So that's 2 games.
Yep. So that would put them at 4 losses.
Yep.
Then they beat the Chargers.
Yep.
I
think they could lose to the Chargers.
Yeah. The 49ers are a tough game.
You just don't know who beat the 49ers.
But who's playing? That's the big thing, right? Just say they beat the 49ers. They're going to lose to the Steelers.
Yes, they will.
That'll be 5 losses. They lose to the Broncos, I think.
Yeah, they could.
That's 6 losses.
Yeah.
Then they lose to the Patriots, 7 losses. 7. And then they play the Dolphins.
So it all comes down to basically that last 3 weeks of the season for pretty much the Patriots.
Yeah, I still think the division is going to be there's going to be a big thing on that Patriots-Bills game on December 28th.
Yep.
I mean, I still think that's going to matter.
What about the Dolphins? Do you think the Dolphins go on a run here?
I think if Fitzpatrick was the quarterback.
Can the Dolphins win the division?
I think if Fitzpatrick was the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's like, you have the same Patriots fans, right, that are like, Cam Newton sucks. Look, he can't throw. He can't do this. He can't do that, and all that. And then in the same breath, they're like, look at the Dolphins. They're doing well. They've got their rookie quarterback. He threw for like 50 yards.
93, I think.
Was it that many?
93 yards. Yeah, he was
I gotta
11
look at
for
this.
16 for 93 yards and a touchdown, which if anyone throws for that, you would assume like they lost. But they scored on
defense played
defense.
well.
They scored punt
Special
return.
teams, yeah.
So when you score 14 points,
The
non-offensively.
only thing with that game, though, is if that game went another half a quarter, they would have lost.
Yeah,
because
because
the defense was just gassed. You could just look at them. They were.
All right, let's call Kyle. Let's get Kyle on the show.
Yeah.
Say, yo, what's up, man? You're looking tired out there in Miami running around. I'm kidding. He looks good.
Yeah, Kyle had a good game. There's a
He had a fumble recovery or something?
I don't know if it was fumble recovery or he forced a fumble. There was something there. He had a
How
bunch
many
of tackles.
sacks does he have on the year?
He hasn't really played this year.
He hasn't played this year?
He's been hurt. He was hurt a couple of games.
He hurt his hand, right?
Yeah.
His thumb?
Broke his thumb
Can't hitchhike
preseason
anymore.
or something like that.
No hitchhiker thumb.
Yeah. So I don't know. So that kind of hurt.
These natties are
They're awful.
they're not good.
It's awful.
Mm-mm.
I
I think maybe after like the 10th one, you'd be like, oh, that's good.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
no.
The thing with the Patriots is that everybody's freaking out.
That's bad. Let's try one of these.
Yeah.
I feel like this might be better.
Yeah.
I feel like the Nat Light, they might have, like they throw a couple cans in the
can was in the brew pot.
pot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
They
to give
melted
it
it down.
Yeah. We got night shift,
Night shift.
India Pale Ale.
I like the pale ale, so let's see. It's pretty good.
That's good.
It is good.
It smells like it's gonna be like a lot.
Yeah, it smells very strong.
You're getting like ready for it,
pungent.
and then it's just
pungent.
yeah, but then it's just smooth.
And it's smooth. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like the smell is strong.
Did we tell our wives that? Oh, this is from Everett. Nice. My son's Everett, by the way.
It's good.
I don't tell my wife that I'm having a beer at whatever time it is right now. It's
Trying
5
to
o'clock.
watch the show.
It's 5 o'clock.
No.
Does she watch the show?
Yeah.
Well, she always makes it clear that I do not want you talking about me on the show, but it's not a big deal.
I think it's been every show.
What's the one thing? Let's just dive into a little marriage talk real quick. The one thing that bothers me, I feel like, that is like for myself, when I'm like cooking dinner or I make breakfast, I might put things out and I leave them out because I know I might need that half cup. I might need that cup. I might need this here. I might need that there. I might need that spice. So I just leave it. And I guess this might be a female thing, but she wants me to pick up as I'm cooking or pick up as I'm doing something. And I just don't get that mentality because, like, say I take the salt out, I use the salt, I put it back. I take something out, I put it back, and then I'm like, oh, I need a little more salt. Or, hey, I need, like, a little bit more of this or more of that. It's right there. It's already – it just seems very, very easy. Or, like, clothes or folding towels or something. Like, if I have the towels in the dryer, right, and maybe I know the towels are in the dryer and I'm going to go take a shower, and I just pull one towel out and I leave them in the dryer because I know, like, yeah, it's all right. It's in the dryer. They're dry.
It's safe.
It's safe. It's like they're in the cabinet. It's like they're folded, but they're just in the dryer. They're dry.
Yeah, what if I
Why
want
not
to
just
the dryer
pull one
back on?
out? And then I'm not using the dryer, so it's like they're in the cabinet. But no, they have to be folded, and you have to put them away. I'm just bad at putting things away, I think. But I feel like that's not just a me thing. I feel like just the male, the males in the world, like that's what we do. Like, we're just very
I agree with that.
simplified, I guess. Like we just try to make things just like, it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, it's whatever. I'll put it away when I'm done. I'll put it away later. Or like put away the dishes. Like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't have to do it now? Want me to do it right now? Like,
I think that's part of being retired, though.
or like
right?
you sit down and you're like, did you do the dishes? I'm like, can I do them in an hour? Like, I just sat down.
Has it got worse
Fine.
since you retired?
Well, yeah, because
You're home, yeah.
there's more time. Like,
that's part of it.
what are you doing? It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, or that's the question too. Like, what did you do today? I'm like, what do you mean? I've done a lot of things. She's like, well, are they like going to your garage, doing doing your podcast with Dan as you drink a beer, like, and then my response is, well, what did you do today? Did you maybe go to Target and like do a crazy amount of like shopping and necessities? And if we didn't go to Target today, we would starve to death and not be a functioning family.
That's
like,
not a good That's not a good winning argument.
I'm kidding, Paige. No, it's not a good argument.
Yeah,
it's not a good argument.
That's a tough one.
It's a very tough. It's a tough
yeah,
subject.
But I'd assume it gets worse.
Okay,
since you're home.
Healthcare for an NFL player runs out after 5 years. So
really,
yeah,
you don't have like a.
Mm-mm.
Really,
you have to buy your own after 5 years out of the league.
Do they like offer you a plan though?
No, they don't offer you anything. You got to buy it. So then you have talk about pre-existing injuries. You know, like
I know you're on like the red
anyone's
flag
like
alert.
Head trauma check, knees check, hips check, neck check. It's $5,000 a month just for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have, you get 5 years if you're a vested veteran, which you play 11. I was vested. I played 11 years, so you get 5 years
to be vested.
3 years, 3 games. So basically 4 seasons. You have to be like playing. You have to be suited and on the 53. So when you go through that process after you retire, you have 5 years. You keep the same stuff you had while you were playing, and then after 5 years, you have to go. You can go into Cobra, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's too expensive. But then you got to find your own health care. So I just was like, hey, because my wife was a nurse before when we were dating. She was in LSU nursing school. Then she was a nurse for 3 years in Louisiana. Then when we got engaged, she came up here, and then we had our babies, and that was it. So I said, hey, next year, it'd be really great if you could get back into work, and then it would give us health care.
That went over well,
huh? She's like, do you want, like with COVID and like the virus, she's like, you want me to go back in a hospital? You want me to be working? And I was like, well, it'd be nice to have the health care, like we could have the health. She's like, you're still working and you have a job. We can try and find health care without me going to work. I'm like, I get it.
ESPN doesn't offer you health care?
Nope.
Really?
I mean, you can, but I'm not a full-time employee.
Oh, okay.
So you have to be on full-time salary. So I'm on a days contract, which is just that's days.
Oh, how many days you have to work?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, the healthcare thing, I don't know what it's gonna be expensive though.
When's it up?
Well, this is my 4th season not playing, so I have 1 more year.
And what? You pay for the healthcare, or they pay for it? The NFL.
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm just on what I was on when I was a player. So
yeah.
It
doesn't go from the team. It goes from the NFL themselves.
NFL, yeah.
Oh, to the players.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense though? That it's up after 5 years. Wouldn't that be like negotiated in on like the collective?
Yeah, it was.
Agreement?
So that they got 5 years, and then you're on your own.
That's all you could get was 5 years.
That's it.
You got weed though.
Yeah, it's legal.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah. So you couldn't get anything longer than 5 years?
I mean, think about it. Oh, so when they were doing the last collective, the last agreement for the NFLPA and the NFL owners, I was just listening in on a phone call because I was with Nate Solder, who Nate Solder is on the board, and he was going through the whole process and voting yay or nay, and I was just listening to them, and it would have been $8 million per team to have lifetime health care. And I said that is lifetime health care for a player, if you're a vested veteran, is huge.
Yeah.
Like if you have health care for you and your family after you retire forever, it would cost each team. A year? Yes. Each team $8 million a year. And they voted no.
That doesn't seem that bad, though.
Doesn't seem that bad.
I thought you guys got health care forever once you were invested. Nope. What if you get injured and your career is over due to an injury? Then
you can have partial or full disability, which that's a big thing too, because some guys will try and play the system and say, well, I'm injured for life, but then they have a recording of the guy like playing backyard football or playing flag football. So it's like there's legit guys that are hurt. There's legit
but
dudes.
if you legitimately got hurt,
if you're legitimately
then you
hurt,
have health care.
You get health care, and you actually get paid by the league for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you get like a pension or something.
Yeah, it's like so. one of my friends, Dan Fells, got an injection in his ankle, turned into staph, got into his bones, like into his leg. They thought they were going to have to amputate. Like, he had a blood infection, so he was sepsis in his blood, and like had his last rites read to him, and like had to say his goodbyes. Like, that's intense.
Like when he was on the team?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's on the team. So he's got like permanent nerve and like permanent his like foot doesn't work properly.
Oh, so yeah.
So he's on the disability, but he's like legit. Like,
speaking of that, did you see the thing with Trent Brown?
Yeah, what is up with their doctors there? Like, they're injecting dudes and collapsing lungs and screwing them up with IVs.
Is that like a normal thing?
This is the thing, and I'll let everyone know this. When I would go into the room to get my IV, I would get 2 IVs before a game, every game. I'd go in there, and I would look at the doctors, and I'd say, "You're not touching me with a needle. You're not touching me with a needle." The doctors don't do IVs. The doctors, when you go into the nurse gives you an IV, you walk into an ER person, an EMT, they do IVs. When I would walk in there, like, I had a doctor one time miss me like 4 times, put it like next to my vein. My skin was bubbling up. I'm like,
oh, I didn't even notice it either?
No. I'm looking at it. I'm like, this ain't right. You're not in my vein. You know, just like tapes it up, walks away, like pumps it. And I'm like, my skin's just like, I'm like, that's not in my vein. So I even said, get somebody else in here that knows what they're doing. Like, because I don't mess around with that shit. Like, I don't mess around when anything that like could mess me up, or, you know, the way your IV is, sometimes it can, if you don't pay attention to it, because those are rapid IVs, so that you pump them up and you try to get as much fluid into you as possible, so you can do 2 bags in like 20 minutes. I did like 2 bags. Yeah, so I'd sit there, me and Dev would sit there, we get our bags in before the game, and like I'd pump it up and I'd watch it myself. Because if you don't, like, say you're just, you know, on your phone or looking through your playbook, nobody's really looking at it. It can just run dry, and you can see, like, it just, like, you can put air in your veins, and like that's not a good thing. Or, you know, sometimes it gets backed up and the blood starts to come back into the line, and then you're like looking at it and you're like, oh, I don't think this is right, you know, because there's like a flow. There's a flow that has to go, and once it's going, it's like a, you know, the hose in the pool. Once you get it going, it's going to come out. But if it messes up at some point, you got to have somebody there to make sure it's right.
Yeah.
So I learned my lesson early, and I only had IVs by either the nurse that would come in, because they literally could look and be like, oh, man, you got huge veins. Easy, bang, done. Doesn't even hurt. Right in. But then some of these doctors, they're like, you know, Dr. Kevorkian with freaking massive fingers, like,
just like poking at you.
Yeah, they're just stabbing you in the arm. I used to look at guys and be like, get out, what are you letting them do this to you? There's guys with, you know, 6 stab wounds on their left, 2 on their right, and they're just, like
the rookies are sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, not knowing what's going on. You see that thing with Russell Wilson that he pays $1 million a year for his body, basically?
That has like PEDs written all over it to me.
No,
$1 million a year.
Yeah, it's
what?
It's all his training. It's all his personal trainers. It's all his doctor stuff. It's all his
stuff. That puts up a red flag.
Chef,
$1 million,
like personal chef, $1 million a year. LeBron, I think, said was $1.5 million a year.
Yeah, those. I would love to. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in those meetings.
I just don't understand, because doesn't the team give you I mean, they got to give you almost $1 million a year worth of stuff, basically. You know, for what you had to do.
It's everything that you have is,
because you guys have personal, like, almost, not personal
you
chefs,
don't
but
have,
they
when
have.
you go home, you don't have that. When you are in the off season, you don't have that. I mean, think about the return on investment.
You could stay here though during the off season and go in and get food, couldn't you?
No, not food.
Oh, they don't do food.
No, they don't do food. They only do it during the season.
No.
But the Patriots, I'd say the Patriots are the best by far when it comes to that. Other teams, like, you have to bring your own lunch some places. When I was in Miami,
you brown bag it.
When I was in Miami, it was awful. Like, the food, and like they didn't have like a chef. They didn't have like the kitchen. Like, it was just.
What they do? Just give
bad.
You like a bologna sandwich?
No, they'd have like lunch meat. No, they'd have like lunch meat out with like lettuce, tomato, and like bread. You're like,
they'd run to the grocery store, get the platter.
Yeah. Just and you're like, okay, I'm gonna practice and have like cold cuts in me. You know,
a nice roast beef sandwich.
I would love to know what it goes into that $1 million. I would love to know like the supplements, what they're doing that would cost $1 million a year. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I know they're making 30, 40, 50 a year.
If you figure you got a 15-year career, it's $15 million.
I mean, I would love to know. There's the banned substance list, but there's things that aren't on the list that some of these guys are paying a lot of money for.
Like stuff that hasn't made
that
it to
stuff
the list
that
yet?
isn't even on the list that nobody knows of yet.
Yeah, because that list updates all the time. Doesn't
yes,
it?
But there's
like,
things
that
there's guys that are out there trying to just figure out what's the best thing to maximize my abilities. That's the newest, most up-to-date scientific stuff that you don't know anything about. It's like, oh, this stuff, there it is. So it's, I don't know. It's crazy. $1 million a year. That I'm like, what? What is that?
Yeah, it's right here. Desired player in his mid-40s. Russell Wilson knows the cost staying in premium shape.
He doesn't ever get hit. Like these guys that don't get hit, like or LeBron. Like, are they paying that much money for massages and food?
This is exactly what he said. He said, I have a whole performance team. I've got a whole
that's
group,
what Tom's got.
A full-time trainer that travels with me everywhere, a full-time physical therapist. I have a full-time massage person. I have 2 chefs, and we have a whole performance team.
Wow. Well,
I mean, that's
money.
A lot of money right there.
They're making their money.
If you have a full-time physical therapist that travels with you, a full-time trainer, and then 2 full-time chefs, I mean, you got to be $500,000 there a year.
That makes me want to just sack him so hard. Just like cut him in half and be like, here, let your trainer figure that one out.
Why would you need 2 chefs?
I don't know.
Is that like
so everything that he eats? Like I mean,
if you had a personal
at the end of the
chef,
day, like when I was
food?
playing, I played 11 years. I had a great run. I didn't get massages. Like I was one of the more flexible guys. I didn't go in the cold tub. I hated the cold tub. I don't like the cold tub. I'd get in the hot tub. I'd stretch on my own. I'd get a massage every now and then, and I played football.
Don't the Patriots have massage therapists?
They do.
The teams?
They do. But I wouldn't use them. I just honestly, at the end of the day, it's all a mentality. It's a mental thing. So you have a guy, do a rub here, rub there, and then you go out there and you're like, man, I feel good. I need that. It's a mental crutch. It's like a mental thing. So, for example, if Russell didn't have one of his guys there to like do his ritual before the game, he'd be mentally like lost. He wouldn't be able to play.
No,
I can't do it. I can't play.
He's just used to it.
He's used to it. It's
like Brady.
It's an aid, just like an aid. It's like a placebo. Like you take something, it's just a sugar pill. Man, I feel great. I'm out here running around. I feel like I'm 15 again. Yeah, well, it's not real. It's just a sugar pill. Oh.
Give it to me again.
I was a little sore. Yeah, I didn't feel right. Like that must
Give
not
me 2 of them next time.
Yeah, it's like it's more mental than anything. Mentally, if you can just put yourself in a state of, I don't care how I feel, I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna ball out, and I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna feel good, and I'm gonna play well. You play well. If you have to have, like a lot of guys have to have a guru, have to have their massage guy, have to have this, have to have. I mean, we all know nutrition's huge, but you can we all can eat better if you just select the right things.
That do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, should I go with the burger and fries or the salad with grilled chicken? Like, come on. Like, what is like good for you and what's
especially
not.
like in season or getting ready for the season. Or
and there's these dietitians who like take your blood and they tell you like, look, for like me, I had that done. They said eggs, sunflower, I was highly allergic to. Eggs, the whites and the yellows, highly allergic to. I eat eggs every day. How am I supposed to stop eggs? Eggs are in everything. How am I supposed to not eat eggs? Yeah. Like they're in absolutely everything. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that
feel fine.
Yeah. Speaking of massage things, have you ever seen the Brady massage videos with Alex Guerrero?
Yeah, I used to do weird. Them, and I hated them.
Kind of weird though, like all the grunting. And...
I mean, Alex does a great job. I think Tom there's a place for Tom and TB12 and everything that they teach and they do. The massaging and the lengthening and stretching, like that's all great. But at the end of the day, like a linebacker has to be strong.
Well, that's the thing.
You got to be.
I think
you got to be explosive.
Certain body
if you're a a soccer player, if you're a softball, baseball, if you're a quarterback.
Yeah, you can't be a 220-pound linebacker.
No, if you're a linebacker, like guess what? You got to put that bar on your back. You got to get down deep. You got to squat. You got to bench because you got to take a 300-pound man. You got to press him off you. You got to set an edge. You got to look where the ball carriers. You got to shed that guy down, and then you got to hit a running back who's running full speed at you and drive him back. You can't do that not lifting weights. You can't do that with bands. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, you can tell me all the stats and like, hey, like you can be just as strong with bands. You can't do it because it's all about it's equaling force. So a 300-pound guy can fall forward, and you have to be able to take your 250-pound frame and equal that force and make sure that his weight is redirected in another way. You can't do that unless you're strong, and you can't get strong just lifting bands.
Yeah, you can't band your way through that.
No.
Yeah.
You could be as flexible as you want. You'll be folded up on the freaking bench next to the water coolers, thrown off the field if you didn't lift weights.
Speaking of that, too, we'll go back to the Patriots, I think, here. What's going on with your boy, Winovich?
Oh, I don't know.
He wears your number, too, right?
Yeah, no. Come on. He's 50. Yeah, of course. They're going to give the white guy 50. Yeah. No, I think that
but his snap count, his snap count has went.
He's about 240 pounds. They can't stop the run, so I don't know what they're like.
That's what I mean. I mean, if you can't stop the run, like, why do you take him out?
Exactly.
Like, I mean,
so for me,
if you're not doing it, you're not doing it.
If I was him, I'd be like, look, I just want to get on the field. What I got to do. If I was the Patriots at this point right now, I would have to change schematically on like your mentality. The Patriots are very much so I want you to be thick. And when I say thick through the guy is not running around the guy, not spilling a guy. A spill is like if a puller's coming for you and you try and dip underneath them and spill him up the field. So a lot of teams are one-gap defenses, and I'll give you a little lesson here on football. A one-gap defense, like a 4-3 one-gap defense, your defensive ends, your linemen, everybody spills the ball and wants the ball to bounce outside for your quick inside linebackers and your usually 230-pound linebackers to run and get to the ball outside. So they want everything to go from the inside out. So they want the ball to get outside. Your linebackers are running. Go get it. In a Bill Belichick Patriot-type defense, everything's two-gap, thick. So if I'm on the outside edge and I'm setting the edge, I'm not going to just use a shoulder to hit this guy and stop the ball. I'm going to put my inside eye on your inside eye, and I'm going to hit you thick, and I'm going to take your body, and I'm going to press you back into the hole, and the ball is either going to have to stop behind the line of scrimmage, which gives time for everybody else to make a play, radical cut bounce, stop behind the line of scrimmage, radical cut inside, everyone's there, it gives you time, gives your inside linebackers time to scrape, and that's how you make plays. So they don't have the personnel. Like, you can't tell Chase Winovich, I want you to run into this pulling guard. I want you to hit him thick head on. I want you to hold him up, and I want you to put his body into the B gap, or I want you to put his body in the C gap, and I want the running back to not know where to go, and then bounce or run into his own player, and then you got your inside backers coming in. So they don't have the personnel. They have an extra DB on the field. They don't have the outside linebackers that are big enough to do that. I mean, I played at 265, and I was 270 on game day.
That's the thing is they don't have anybody.
I was a 270-pound outside linebacker, pass rushing on every down. I am passing downs, pass rusher, played 3 downs, and I was setting the edge on first and second down. So you can't take a 230-pound guy and tell him, like, I want you to set the edge like a 265, 270-pound guy. It just doesn't happen.
Well, that's where the Hightower opt-out becomes so big for them. You know, I mean,
I love Hightower. Hi, if you're listening, I love you, bro. Even if High was there, I think it'd be really hard because High needs.
I don't know though, because
if you're an inside backer,
you start changing things though. Because Juwan Bentley's not your main middle linebacker.
High is the Hightower is the best multiple piece.
Yeah, he can
you
play
move
anywhere.
him around, you play him inside. Yeah. I personally would want Hightower off the ball to where he can read, direct everybody, tell everyone where to go. He's going to blitz the A and the B gaps. He's going to have his blitzes, and that's when he's on a back. He's deadly. He's going to beat a back. But up on the line of scrimmage is a different story. When you're up on the line, everything is boom, instantly. And High, he's a great football player. He's good at what he does. But if we could ask High. We'd call him up. When you're on the line of scrimmage, it's a different animal because you're like, split second, boom, the guy's on you. Boom, I'm in coverage.
Yeah, it's different when you're in line.
Different when you're off the ball. He's naturally off the ball. He's a natural
Plus,
off the ball.
Plus, you get some force coming, too.
He's a natural off-the-ball linebacker, so he has good vision. He has good tempo. He knows he has good pace, so he knows in his head, like, hey, where they're doubling here, I'm going to stack, take the double team off the tackle, and then rock back, and I know where the ball's going. So he has a good sense of where the ball's going based on what he sees in front of him. When you're up on the line of scrimmage, all that stuff disappears. So that's why, for me, you back me up off the ball, put me in an inside backer spot, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because I just want to go, and I want to go forward, and I want to go hit somebody. Well, and that doesn't work. You got to be patient off the ball.
Everybody thinks with the defense, it's the linebackers aren't doing it, but it's really the edge, right?
It's the edge.
I mean, that's really what it is. It's 100%.
And I was I still am. I'm a huge fan of Chase, but I feel like he needs to get bigger. I think he needs to get bigger. Like, he needs to be 255. He needs to gain 10 pounds of muscle and be like a little bit more stout. He's not going to lose speed. He'll still be able to pass rush. He needs to be a little bit stronger. I like John Simon. I feel like
he's really like he's like an afterthought. It seems.
Yeah,
like,
he hasn't played the way I thought he would play with the opportunity, because this is a huge opportunity. I've felt like in the past he was a really good piece for you to stop the run, but sometimes the more reps you get, you regress because you're thinking too much and you're trying to, do too much instead of just when he came in the last couple of years to be like, okay, I come in, I'm just a hard edge set guy, or I'm a bull rush guy. I'm going to bull rush the tackle back to the quarterback. Like, right now, he's just doing too much, and I think you see it. But when you can run to the edge and there's nobody, and the first thing that the running back hits is a DB, that's a bad deal.
Yeah, Brandon Copeland's a big loss for them too, though.
No, it's a big loss.
big loss, because you're right. I mean, you're basically making the secondary have to make all these, tackle 220-pound running backs. It's not really good.
No, it's not good. Should we do our picks? I think it's about time.
We should probably take a break. And
let's take a break. Right? We'll come back. We'll do our quicks pickly. Whoa, pickly?
What?
I said pickly.
Yeah, no, you said
quickly.
Like quicks pickly.
Quicks pickly.
It sounded like something
that's
from
reversals.
Like Peppa Pig or something like that.
No, it's the night shift. It's the night shift or CTE. We will see. Stay tuned. All right, we'll be back. All right, Night Shift Brewery. It's good. What is this? What would you say this is called?
It says
Fluffinity.
Fluffinity.
Okay, I like Fluffinity. Let's get into the picks.
It's pretty good.
Let's get into the picks on the Fluffinity.
The picks. The first game: Green Bay versus San Francisco. We've both been big Green Bay fans, but they haven't played well.
I'm going Green Bay. San Fran, no starting quarterback.
Or Kittle.
Yeah, I think
Bay.
their mentality is probably like,
Green Bay. Denver, Atlanta.
Oh, I'm going Denver. And I burped.
Atlanta finally held one out last week. Like, I've been picking them a bunch, and then I didn't pick them last week, and they actually I'm going to go Atlanta on this one.
All right.
Seattle, Buffalo.
Seattle.
Chicago, Tennessee.
Tennessee. They're going to have a good bounce-back game.
Yeah, I think Vrabel will have them go.
Yeah, he'll be like Tennessee. Getting after them this week.
This is actually a good game, too. Baltimore, Indianapolis.
Baltimore.
I'm going to go Indy on this one.
Going Indy?
Yeah.
That's
Carolina, Kansas City.
KC.
Yeah.
I
really want to take Carolina. I want to take Carolina too, but
KC.
I'm going to go KC. That was a barn burner. Detroit, Minnesota.
I'm going Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to go Minnesota too.
They're going to run the ball.
It's another good game. New York football team.
New York.
Yeah, I'll go New York. I think the football team's terrible.
Yep.
Houston, Jacksonville.
Houston. I think Jacksonville has 32 ranked quarterback play, and 31 is the Patriots.
Minshew?
Yeah. It's bad.
I'm going to go Houston. Las Vegas, Los Angeles.
Vegas.
Yeah, I'll go Vegas too. Pittsburgh, Dallas.
Dallas. No, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Miami, Arizona.
Miami.
Whoa, that was quick.
I'm going Miami.
You weren't even figuring out who they were playing. You were just taking Miami no matter who they were playing.
I think they're going to go on a little run here. I think Miami's going to win the division. That's what I think.
I think that Miami has the better shot at winning the division out of the three teams.
Yes.
But I'm going to go Arizona here. I know where you're picking this one. New Orleans, Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Really?
Brady.
Really?
Yes.
What?
That's for the division, basically. If they win this game, they win the division.
Michael Thomas is supposed to be back for the fourth week in a row now.
Yeah, well, I thought they
Every
were going
week
to trade him.
on Friday, it's always that. Speaking of, I'm going to go with New Orleans. But speaking of trades, what happens with Gilmore now since he didn't get traded and he's got his house on the market?
Well, his house is off the market. I think the trade.
I checked. It's still on the market.
Is it still on the market?
Yeah, I checked.
Maybe I think he wants to go in the city or something.
Is he pulling like the?
Well, you can get a really good deal in the city now. We all know that.
Is he pulling a Tom Brady there, putting his house on the market before free agency?
Well, he's not playing under his current contract, so they're either going to have to extend him according to what other corners are making, which I don't think they'll do, or he'll be cut.
Why not just keep him? I mean, you get him for $7 million next year.
No, he won't play for $7 million.
But it's the same contract he had. They just moved $5 million forward.
Yeah,
you're supposed to get 12 next year.
Next year, he ain't playing for what he's playing for. He's going to say, "Cut me, or I'm not reporting."
Yeah, I mean, the trading him at the trade deadline made no sense because you're going to get the same thing you get for him in the offseason.
He's not going to report to camp unless he has what he wants.
I think he'll get traded in the offseason.
He won't be here next year.
Yeah, which I think is okay. I mean,
yeah, well, they got to rebuild. So it's a process.
I think the rebuild will be pretty quick. I think if you got Jimmy G, the rebuild will be pretty quick. Or Sam Darnold.
They get back to where they should have been a few years ago.
Yeah. All right, and then we got the Monday night matchup. The New England Patriots versus the New York Jets.
Jets! No, I'm going Pats. Pats got to win this one. Keep the Jets winless. They got to win. They got to win.
There was an article in the New York Times or something like that, or one of the New York papers, that was like, this could be Belichick's like final stick it to the Jets moment and lose this game so they can sneak in and get Trevor Lawrence.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that
for a second either. I mean, Belichick, I don't think's ever going to thinks he has to go get the first pick of the draft and a quarterback or anything like that.
No,
I just don't see that. I don't think
he's not. He doesn't want to be that
guy.
Yeah, he doesn't want it. You don't want the first pick in the draft.
Like, I just want all Patriots fans to realize, even if the Patriots got the 8th pick or the 9th pick, they're gonna trade it. They trade it every year.
Down to like the 20-something pick. They're going to try and...
They're going to trade it. Like, even if they had the first pick, they're going to trade it. They're not going to draft a player there.
Yes.
And then that leads me to, what do you think about Belichick's recent comments where, we sold out to win 3 Super Bowls? Because you were part of this era.
Well, you could look at my... you could look at what I've made in my whole career, and I don't think he didn't sell out for me. But he did go and get Revis, and you paid guys. You paid guys a substantial amount of money to be involved in that, and you win a Super Bowl. I mean, there's something to be said. They did have literally no cap space, and losing Tom this year hurt too, because I think they had like a $12 million hit because of that.
But everybody's sitting there going second guessing it. Obviously, with we should have just kept Tom.
No,
well, two things with that though.
You can't.
There's
the Tom thing would have happened eventually.
The two things. He was never re-signing.
Yes.
You can say all you want.
Because he would have paid there. Yeah. He would have wanted 2 years, $50 million. Like,
even if they could figure the cap, and cut players and figure it out and get the 2 years, 50, he wasn't going to re-sign with them.
Yeah.
He put his house in the market. He was ready to go.
That's not part of the process.
Yeah.
Like, that's gone. So I think the number one thing affecting the Pats right now is just who they've drafted in the past, and not keeping or not having that talent there. Think about this. Like Malcolm Mitchell. If he didn't have a knee problem, he'd probably be Mitchell.
Oh, the wide receiver. Yeah,
like
he would have
some
been
of these guys would have been like number ones, like really good receivers.
Yeah.
He had bone on bone in his knee. His career's over. Like Sony Michel, great pick, knee problem. Probably won't be around in a couple years because of that knee problem. Or this year. So Harris looks like a really good pickup. Like, he could work. They just need receivers. They need a tight end. Like, their offensive line's good. They have a good offensive line. Tooney's probably gone though.
Yeah, but I think that's okay. I think they have the depth behind it now to sustain. Like, they've always been great at drafting linemen and stuff like that and keeping that going. They've been terrible at drafting wide receivers.
Yeah.
But not even skill position, because you have to consider tight end skill position now, and they've done well drafting some tight ends. I mean, in his era, he's drafted Ben Watson, Rob, and then also
we
Aaron
can't say that
Hernandez.
name. Can we say?
I'll say it, Aaron Hernandez. But I mean, he's done a good job at finding
which nobody
that
really
talent.
talks about.
Yeah. I mean, you forget that.
Yeah.
I mean, one of
It's
the
like
picks,
you don't. That's like the one pick that they're like, no, don't say that name.
But the problem is, like everybody's upset with Gronkowski being gone. Aaron Hernandez could have still been here and been the starting tight end.
Well, he had stage 3 CTE. He was pretty screwed up.
Yeah,
so.
no, way past that. But I mean, if you think for 1 minute in 20 years, where you have one losing season in 20 years, and everybody's jumping off the bandwagon now, freaking out because of one non-winning season. It's not even over yet. It's not.
Yeah,
you still get.
I think it's just the quality of the play that we're seeing. Like, we're used to seeing an offense that throws the ball. We're used to like a pro style offense. Like even week 1 when we're watching the RPOs and the options. And
but then
the
week
running.
2 it came back, and it came back to throwing the ball.
Yeah, but it still was like, you're like, this just doesn't feel like what we've witnessed. And then you watch other teams, and you're like, dang, I wish I could watch. I wish I could see. And you watch Tampa, and you're like, man, that was a nice throw. Man, that was a deep throw.
But would Brady be 5-2 with this team right now?
I don't.
Here, this is the biggest Brady fan in the world.
They would be better than they are right now.
They'd have one more win.
They'd have 2 more wins. They would beat Seattle. They would have beat Seattle.
No,
Tom could
I
throw the ball.
don't think so. I don't think they would have, because Cam made a bunch of big plays in that game with his feet that obviously Tom can't make. They would have lost to Miami.
True.
I mean, they probably would have been blown up by Miami. I don't think they would have been in the Buffalo game either. Like everybody, Cam didn't throw the ball that great in that game.
Yeah.
But they did move the ball, especially once the second half came. I mean, they went up and down the field multiple times. I mean, he made a mistake, obviously, ball in the wrong hand, and that last.
It was a good punch out. I give credit to the guy that punched the ball out. That was a good play.
That's the thing is, was it better? Was it more of an offensive mistake, or was it more of a?
But I've never seen. I will
play?
say this: I've never seen a quarterback before the game starts, like in the huddle, being like, "Please, Lord, help me. Please make me win. Please help me." Ready, sit. Like he did a prayer before the game.
How much in
like before the ball was snapped? Like please.
But you don't think that part of the problem is Edelman getting hurt in the Seattle game?
He was
because the offense, but he wasn't as bad as after that.
Yeah, I mean, no, that hurts.
You lose it. You don't remember all those huge hits he took?
Yeah.
He took one after another.
Taking a lot of big hits.
But in that game, he took like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean,
after that game, he wasn't the same.
It's hard to count on a guy that's 34 years old that's played receiving position. Like you think about it, look up 34-year-old receivers.
Yeah,
there's non-existent. Wes Welker was.
I mean, Reggie
retired.
Wayne fell off the face of the earth.
No, they retire at 34.
Yeah.
They don't keep playing.
Well, you don't remember Reggie Wayne came in for the one.
Yeah, and then
he was probably around like 34 or 35 years old.
34 is old.
Yeah, for a receiver.
Very old.
Yeah.
Very old. 30 is old for a receiver.
But you don't think that part of the offensive decline is Edelman getting hurt there?
Yeah.
Because after that game,
because then you don't have a go-to guy.
Yeah.
Like you don't have that. But it looks like Myers is the go-to guy.
That's what I mean, though. That's why I think there's some hope in the team that he kind of came out and played a little bit better, and Cam kind of could throw the ball to him. I mean, he was staring him down the whole time, and they still couldn't cover him.
Can't get over that throwing motion.
He's always done that though.
It's like,
but he's always done that though.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he was successful for a long time in Carolina.
We will see what happens Monday night. I mean, they're going to win. They're going to beat the Jets, but the Jets are going to play them hard. They're going to play them hard because if you're the Jets, if we go out here and get our first win against these guys, right now we already know our season's over, but if we can make their season more miserable.
Do the Jets want to win, though?
Against the Pats, yes. They'll lose every other game after this, but if they lose 14 games and they can win 2 against the Pats, they'd be happy.
How is Gay still the head coach?
I don't know. I don't know.
My thing, though, is it almost seems like, though, that it is time to test out Stidham.
It's time.
I mean, but to see what you're going to do next year.
Yeah. But what do you have? Hoyer's not the guy.
Yeah, your free agents next year are terrible for quarterbacks. There's no good free agent quarterback.
I would love to be a backup quarterback for millions every year and just write down the plays on a clipboard. Wouldn't that be fun?
But the thing is, why not try him out?
I know.
You went into the season, he was the starting quarterback.
You know what's crazy? You look up career earnings of Dan Orlovsky. It's $30 million. You're like, huh? What?
Oh, yeah, no, there's a bunch of those, though.
A lot of money. Schaub is still a quarterback in the NFL. Backup. Yes.
Where?
I don't know, but he's still in the league.
No, he can't.
Matt Schaub is a backup quarterback for a team in the NFL right now.
Who is the backup quarterback for the Packers that had that one good game, and then he went to the Seahawks. Matt Flynn.
Yeah, and then he's out the league. Matt Schaub is still in the league. I'm telling you, right now.
He's 39 years old.
39 years old.
Atlanta Falcons.
That's
where he started.
Still in the league.
That's where he started. You want me to look up his career earnings?
Oh, yeah. Look it up. Go Spotrac. I do it all
mad?
the time. Yeah, probably.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
120.
Nah, it's less than that.
All right.
$82 million.
Oh, $82 million.
Well, he was the starting quarterback, I think, for the Texans, right?
Goodness.
For a couple of years.
So take that, cut it in half. So he's got like $40 million. That's a lot of money, man.
Right now, he just signed a contract with the Falcons for 2-year, $4 million, with 3.78.
So crazy. New tax plan, it'll be $38 million. His career earnings.
A little less than that.
Yeah.
Now, you're all right though with the backup quarterback. There's some big time paid. I think the football team, the Washington football team, I think they pay like $60 million to quarterbacks, don't they?
It's ridiculous.
And they don't have one.
Like
but,
Colt McCoy, still in the league, doesn't do anything, never played.
Is he really?
Yes. Colt McCoy, still a quarterback in the NFL. I think he's with
the Giants.
The Giants. Yes, he is.
I wonder what the career earnings are there.
Yeah, probably 40.
What was yours?
I don't know. A lot less.
$50 million.
50. So he's got 25 in the bank.
Should have been a quarterback.
Should have been.
Or a long snapper.
Or went to Cleveland, got paid more. I'm kidding.
That's the thing.
But I'm on the dynasty, all dynasty team. Look, that'll get me night shifts all night long.
Did you make it?
Yeah. Me, Vrabel, and Willie.
Was it?
That's the outside linebackers, all dynasty team.
Who was in the inside linebackers?
Hightower, Teddy, and
was it Roman Pfeiffer?
Yeah, I think so.
That was terrible. That was bad.
I think.
I love how they put the head coach.
Yeah, head coach. I love how they have two long snappers.
They were going to have Pete Carroll.
Why do you have two long snappers? Like, give me a break. All dynasty team. It's a long snap. I could have done that, and I did do that.
Defensive line was Seymour, Warren, Wilfork. Outside linebackers: McGinnis, Vrabel, you.
Yeah.
Inside was Brewski, Hightower, Roman Pfeiffer. I don't understand that, but
Pfeiffer.
Mayo didn't make it.
No.
That don't make any sense.
He only played 6 years, and then 2 of those were on IR. So he played 4 years.
Cornerbacks were Ty Law, Asante
So can you make an all-dynasty team with 4 years of a lot of tackles?
Why not?
I don't know. Like some of those guys, how long did Pfeiffer play here?
I don't think he played
I don't
that
even
long.
know. I don't know. That was
he was in the
me.
first.
Like I get like a lot of those guys, like Teddy.
There was 2 long snappers. Holy shit!
Doesn't make sense.
Wow, a cornerback.
Like Gostkowski doesn't make it, but you put 2 long snappers.
There's only 3 cornerbacks.
So stupid.
So you got Ty Law, Asante Samuel, and Stephon Gilmore. Safeties got Harrison, Chung, McCourty.
Yeah.
You got 1 quarterback, obviously. Running backs, I don't know about that one. Falk,
yeah.
Dylan, and James
Corey
White.
Dillon. Yeah. Well, all 3 of those guys are.
Yeah. Fullback was James Devlin. Receivers were Moss, Welker, Edelman, and then Troy Brown.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tight ends were Gronkowski and Daniel Graham.
Yeah.
I guess Watson didn't. Watson played
Watson
a while,
wasn't.
though. He only played like 4 or 5 years. Tackles were Matt Light, Volmer, Soldier. Guards were Mankins, Andruzzi, and Tooney.
Yep.
Center was Copen, which...
Copen was a good player.
Yeah, but I think Andrews was better.
He's bigger. Yeah.
Kicker was Vinatieri. Punter was Ryan Allen.
They never really had a good punter here. Ryan was probably the best of all the punters.
It's the new punter. The new punter.
Yeah, he's good, but he hasn't been here.
Kickoff returners with Bethel Johnson and Ellis Hobbs.
Yeah.
Punt returners was Edelman. Special teamers was Slater and Izzo. That makes sense. And then the long snappers were Paxton and Cardona.
Yeah, like Cardona made it because he was in the Navy.
Here are the honorable mentions that didn't make it. Mayo. Why wouldn't you have 2 kickers if you had 2 long snappers?
I don't know.
Before I even go.
Gostkowski's your leading scorer.
I mean, you need to have 2 kickers on there. I mean, if the all dynasty team, the dynasty was 20
years. You need to have 2 kickers.
Yeah.
It was 06 that Gostkowski came in and kicked all the way through all the Super Bowls.
They each have 3, I think. Mm-hmm. I think Vinatieri has 3, and then Gostkowski.
So they should have went 1 long snapper.
Yeah,
it's not COVID, I swear. 1 long snapper, 2 kickers. That would have been more reasonable.
Here, the honorable mentions was Mayo, Malloy, Stephen Neal, Shaq Mason, David Andrews, Gostkowski, LeGarrette Blount, and Danny Amendola.
Yeah. No.
That just shows,
it's a good team because I'm on it. Yeah, baby.
But that just shows, too, like everybody's dying for wide receivers. And in a 20-year span, the only receivers made that list was Moss, Welker, Edelman, Troy Brown, and then Amendola was the honorable mention. 4.
Yeah. Tom Brady's a hell of a player.
Yeah. But
spreads it around.
But you can't tell me that Brady would have been that much better with this team.
No, I mean, it would have been a better looking offense. It at least would have looked better. Like this offense looks so bad. Like
they handpicked the team he's
they
with
would have
now.
thrown the ball on 3rd and 10. At least tried to throw the ball. They wouldn't have just handed the ball.
Last
off.
few years, I don't think so. It doesn't seem like anything that's more than like 3rd and 7. It's always like a draw play.
Well, it looks decent in Tampa.
What do you think about no screens being thrown? Really,
I hate it.
Like
Rex is a great screen guy.
But how? Yeah, Rex
like,
and James.
I
White.
would say have Cam run. Say, Cam, take the snap. Just run your ass off straight back. Let all the people think they're going to sack you. Then turn around, and just flip the ball to James. Run the screen.
But that's what Brady did for so long. Was the quick slants. They
don't do any of that.
But why?
I don't know because he can't throw a quick slant. He can't accurately throw a slant.
But you can't accurately throw a screen pass.
He threw an interception.
It was tipped.
Still threw an interception.
It was tipped.
They write that. Bill writes that in his book. Bill has his little book. He goes,
"Yeah, screen.
No more screens. Jesus Christ, I can't do that."
So, how upset is Belichick right now?
He's probably disappointed. The guy sleeps in his office 4 nights a week. So,
are you surprised to see him come out in the media saying some of this stuff now?
A little
as
bit.
A former player.
A little bit. I mean, usually there's no excuses on anything. It's just got to play better, got to do better.
Is he softening up?
Seems to be a little bit of like the cap was the issue. We went all out on the Super Bowl, or we put we're in the position we're in because of that. Like,
it is the truth, though.
So yeah, it's the truth. But usually you don't state it. You're just like, damn it.
We get almost $30 million in dead cap. I mean, you could have signed 4 good players.
Could have, but
the receiving core though is obviously an issue. I mean, I don't think they're not like it's not like they're like 4 receivers away because it's not like a team has.
They're in a bad spot.
Receivers.
They're in a bad spot right now. They can't stop the run. They don't have linebackers. They have literally nickel and dime on the field all the time. So they don't have a base defense.
It's a strength though.
They don't have a base. They don't have base defense. They don't have a hippo. They don't have any rhino. They don't have any defenses you can go out there on 3rd and 1 and stop the run. You really don't have any weapons offensively. Your strength is your DBs in your offensive line. That's about it. Your quarterback doesn't have confidence. Punter.
Yeah.
That's it. Your quarterback's your quarterback looks like his dog was just taken away from him, and he has no confidence, and he's sad. It's just like.
But the thing is, though, if you're going to build a team, at least if you have a good offensive line and a good secondary and good running backs, you're not like crazy far away from competing.
They're not crazy far away from competing because they have Bill Belichick. But
that's what I mean.
Yeah. So, I mean, they need a few pieces. They'll get those pieces, but the problem is the modern athlete. Like right now, you can't get a young player to buy into something that's not there. Like it's hard for like in the years past, it's like you come into the system, you buy in or you're out. And you're like, I'm buying in. Now it's like there's nothing there. So it's like you're going to lose some of these veteran guys. If you lose the McCourties, if you lose Slate, if you lose Julian – you lose Hightower. You lose everybody that is the rock and the base that you build the rest of the building on. So that's the problem because Bill, every 10 years, there's like millennials and the young kids now, 21-year kid comes in now. He's like, yeah, I'm going to sell T-shirts on my Instagram before I make a sack or start. You know, it's like, what do you mean? Like, don't you need to earn any? Like, don't you need to like be a starter first? Like, no, I got a marketing team and, you know, I'm drafted high and the media loves me. So I'll sell T-shirts first. And it's like, well, I thought you should make plays first. It's a different mentality now. It's players are trying to market themselves as entrepreneurs to make money for themselves because they know their careers are short, number one. But the media hype is just, you know, like, hey, this guy's a beast. This guy's great off of a couple plays in college. It's like, what? Like, don't you need to do that in the pros? Do that in the pros consistently. Start 16 games, hit the quarterback a bunch, get tons of sacks, make tons of tackles, then go market yourself. Like that's what you should do. You shouldn't, but kids nowadays are like, well, I don't need to do that. I can just market myself out of college, off of my college career, off my draft status, off of highlights from college. I'm a beast. I'm gonna sell stuff and make money.
No, I
like Julian's marketed himself really well. Like J11 like he has his pop-up shop and he has his hats and his books and his everything. But he's won championships. He's caught the crazy throws in the Super Bowl, Super Bowl MVP. Like he's been there, done that. He's made it.
He's second all time in receptions.
Yeah, in the playoffs. Yeah, so it's like that's how he earned it. If Julian didn't do any of that, you think anyone's buying J11 hat?
The other thing too is that only started like 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, he's been in the team.
That started like 2012. Started a long time ago.
Yeah, but he's been added a little bit more 3 or 4 years. For like the last 3 or 4 years. He's taken his time to build it up and everything. Is what I'm saying.
But I'm saying
he didn't come out of the league.
Yeah, but people are doing that. The people are coming out of college and starting trying to do that instantly.
Yeah,
like they have marketing teams that try and push them instantly, and it's like you haven't done anything yet in the league. Like you're not an all pro. You're not a Pro Bowler.
100%. That's why I think one of the biggest regrets Belichick should have is letting go of Trey Flowers.
They couldn't pay him $90 million.
They could have.
They shouldn't have. He's got 2 sacks this year. Yeah, he's not a pass rusher. Trey's a good situational, loops.
But you don't need the individual stat guys though with the Patriots.
Well, when he's here, he had better stats because he fit better in the scheme. Yeah. But he's never going to pay a guy market value for the scheme that helps them make the plays.
You can easily see that's why Collins is gone.
100%. I mean, they all made plays here, and then they go somewhere else, and they are good football players, but they're not making the plays that they made here because Bill puts in defenses to make sure that you have great production. Like I can remember I was getting after the quarterback, hitting the quarterback a lot. They traded Chandler Jones, and then they were like, oh, from here on out, we're going to drop you on third down, and we're going to swap your coverage with the curl and the flat, and then we're going to blitz Hightower and Jamie up the middle on backs. I'm like, oh, cool. Well,
you got some picks that way, though.
I did. But they don't pay you on picks. They pay you on sacks, So, I mean, they got paid, and it's great. But other defenses aren't going to be like, hey, you're going to blitz the A-gap, and we're going to put our defensive end, who we're paying $20 million on to go cover the back.
Yeah,
they're you cover backs because you're the linebacker, and the guy we're paying a ton of money to is going to rush the quarterback.
Up the field.
I don't care if it's run or pass. They're going to go make plays because that's where all our money's invested. Where the money's invested, the plays are revolved, and the scheme is revolved around the money.
Yeah.
That's
the one thing I think that the Patriots
they moved us to a 4-3 when we had it was when they had Chandler here. Chandler was strictly a 4-3 DN. They put me at 4-3 DN. I mean, my most productive years were with Chandler because all I was doing was ripping, doing stuff that was quick rips, quick inside moves, playing DN, pass rushing the quarterback. But then when he was gone, it was okay, we're changing the scheme. Change the whole scheme.
Yeah. I think you hit on it a minute ago, though, that I guess the scary part for the Patriots is who are going to be the next guys up to lead this team.
Now, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be the next guy up. They don't have the guys right now.
I was thinking it was going to be Winovich for a while. Because he seems like a guy that would buy into the system, that would, go, but then he's just not playing now.
He's just got to be – he needs to gain 10 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
If he's 255 or 260 and he's thumping people and setting the edge and getting after the quarterback,
But who at the age of 30 on that team though is going to be the next leaders of that team?
I don't know. They don't have it.
I mean, they're not there yet. Maybe they can develop these guys because that's what they've been good at doing.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I mean, the McCourties have a year.
They're at the end of
a 2-year
contract.
Career. So I mean, Devin's
they're at
a 2-year
the end.
Contract.
So he's not the future. Slate's a year to year now.
Yeah.
Julian's year to year. Even McCourties are year to year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 2 years, but he could be I just don't feel
like
playing.
Who's behind that though?
Nobody.
Yeah.
There's nobody.
Yeah.
But
I think they have to try to get somebody like a Jimmy G or something like that because then maybe they can get the players to rally around.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you said last week with when you went to contract negotiations, that it was always hey, look at Brady. He doesn't take the most, so you have to take less.
They don't have that.
Who do they got for that?
Nobody. Now it's I need to be paid my fair share value of what the market says.
Yeah. I mean, part of that is that they have no cap space, so they couldn't do it
Yeah.
anyway. It's not
Yeah.
like you could go convince a wide receiver to come here and make a little bit less to go
To
play
play
with
for
Brady.
Yeah, no,
You don't have that.
I'm saying now you don't have that.
Yeah.
You don't have like, hey, you want to win a championship? Come here.
Yeah.
People are like, I'm gonna go make my money because you guys aren't winning a championship anymore.
Yeah, that's the things. But
Exactly.
I don't think they're that far away from getting back to that, though. I really don't.
Well, I think that was a great wrap on the show.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I really got to pee.
The Natty Light kicking in.
The Natty Light I finished this one already.
Yeah.
That's 2 beers down.
It's actually good.
But no, that was a great episode. Next week, tune in. We are going to do the go-karting. We're going to race. I'm going to put him in the wall, and then we're going to play poker for the Senna.
I think we got to put on like the Tokyo Drift music and everything.
That'd be funny. I like that. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, check us out. You do this better.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
bang.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much anywhere. Log in, follow us, subscribe, everything, and we need a new table.
This is great. It's a lifetime table. No, we're gonna get a.
I think if we increase like 20%, I think we'll get a new table.
We'll get a new table.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thanks,
see you guys. Thank you. Bye.